What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. The first proper episode, really, as the last one was just the introduction of the Barcelona embargo. So we're going to roll the good old little VT just to introduce it, and then we're going to crack on and have a little look at how they've done in the past 10 years, and a little look at the squad, some of the key players in the squad going forwards. I'm over here this time now, look at that, eh? How about that for change? So, we're going to crack on, we're going to have a little look at the squad. The finances, they've actually now, over the past 10 years, because I nailed their finances for them, I proper hammered them, but over the years, due to the size of the club and just the financial power they have in the game with sponsorship deals and stuff like that, that would have come in after what had happened and stuff, and their world coverage, they've kind of got the money back. Their TV deals are the biggest things. I didn't want to remove those because they won't remove them, I don't think, unless they really start to drop down the league. They have always managed to finish kind of in the top 5, I believe, from what I've seen. But they haven't won the league since the 2015-16 season. So they've gone 10 years without winning the league. They've won the cup a couple of times, and they did win the Champions League once. So we'll have a little look at that now. We'll just quickly jump into the La Liga statistics. Now, this is how the last season's just finished. Let's just go into stages. So they finished 4th this season. And what I've noticed over the past few years, it has been literally Madrid who have dominated, just absolutely dominated La Liga. It's been Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid winning it. Sevilla ran up a second spot this season, so you know they've started to creep in a bit now, but it has mainly been Atletico and Real Madrid. So last season they finished 3rd in the league, Real Madrid winning it, Atletico Madrid 2nd. The season before that they finished 3rd again, Atletico winning it, Real Madrid finishing 2nd. Season before that they finished 5th, so they had the worst season. That was the season, I believe, that Luis Enrique was sacked. Real Madrid 2nd, Atletico Madrid top, and Athletic Club were in 3rd and Seville in 4th. So not the best of seasons there. They finished 3rd in that season, which was the 21-22. Real Madrid winning it there. Again, exactly the same top 3 the season before that. And then the season before that one, in 2019-20, it was Atletico, Real Madrid, Barca. Then Real Madrid, Atletico, Barca in 2018-19. They actually managed to finish 2nd. You know, it was like 7 points behind, but they finished 2nd in 17-18. And 16-17, the very first season, they finished 2nd as well, 10 points behind Real Madrid. So the first 2 seasons, they kind of held in there a little bit and sort of kept within touching distance of Real Madrid. But after that, they got absolutely bombed out the way. And if you just have a look at the past winners, you can see now, look, Real Madrid, Atletico, Real Madrid, Atletico, Real Madrid, Atletico, Real Madrid. And then obviously the season before this started, it was Barcelona. So Madrid absolutely bossing La Liga at the moment. And that is something that obviously at Barcelona we want to try and overturn. Okay, so in the first season, their Champions League campaign took them all the way to the semi-finals, where they were beaten against PSG. They didn't win it that year. 17-18, they got knocked out in the quarter-finals by Arsenal, no less. A bit of revenge for the Gunners there. They did manage to get through the group stage and all the way to the quarters, but then they were destroyed on away goals by Arsenal. The following year, they actually won it. They beat Real Madrid in the final 2-1. And that was the last time they won it. They had a great year that year. They got past Manchester United, Chelsea, Bayern, the Zagreb, Arsenal, Monaco. You know, they beat all those guys on the way. They did beat them all at one point. So every team they played got beat at some point along the way. So they had a good season that year, managed to pick up the Champions League, so that was really good for them. 19-20, the quarterfinals was the end for them. They didn't even score against Arsenal, so they were knocked out again by Arsenal in 19-20. In 2021 season, they were beaten by Wow, Tottenham. That's not being disrespectful to Tottenham, but it's the fact that it was the first knockout stage that surprised me. So they were beaten in that one, which would, I believe, I could be wrong. Would it? No? Oh, no, of course not. It's if you finish in the group. Silly me, my mistake. I was going to say would have put them in the Europa League, but it didn't. So in the 21-22 season, again, they reached the quarterfinals, but PSG managed to knock them out in the quarterfinals of that season. 22-23, they didn't even escape the group stage. They were very poor by the looks of things in a group with Bayern, Sporting, and I was going to say Bayern again. They're Galatasaray, so they were beaten in that group, which is a good group. It's a strong group, that is, and they were knocked out. So that should, if they finished in the correct position, yep, it did. It popped them into the Europa League, and they were beaten by Benfica in the quarterfinals over both legs. They were just dispatched rather easily, it looks like, by Benfica, and were knocked out. So that's the first major sign in Europe that they were really starting to wobble. They didn't even get out of the group stage in the 22-23 season. They were actually in the Europa League that season, so they managed to walk the group stage, then the first knockout round, but they were beaten in the second knockout round by Schalke over the two legs. It was the away leg that did them a 3-1 defeat away from home, finished them off, and they were out. I'd say they did okay, but you'd expect Barcelona to do a lot better in the Europa League, but of course this is a different Barcelona to the one we know in real life. The following season, 24-25, which actually the season just before the one they've just played, they managed to get through the group stage in the Champions League, and then they were beaten by Tottenham in the first round knockout. So whenever they tend to be knocked out in the first round, it's Tottenham who beat them. Whenever they get knocked out in the quarterfinals, it tends to be Arsenal that beat them, if I remember correctly. It's only been a couple of minutes, but I may have messed that up. Maybe, possibly, who knows. But yeah, so not the greatest of seasons last season or this season. Liverpool, for a bit of change, but it seems to be an English team that knocks them out. Liverpool beat them over the two legs after they got through the group stage. So they were beaten again this season, didn't make it into the Europa League, and that is pretty much that in terms of European football. Okay, so back to the beginning again we go. This is just the Copa del Rey. So in the first year, they managed to beat Athletic in the final by 1-0, so they won it the first season. The second season, they also got to the final and managed to pick up the win in the second season. So the Copa del Rey seemed to be the competition that they could still win, at least for the first few seasons. It was actually the third season in 28-19 when they were beaten in the final by Atletico Madrid. Suarez with the goal in that one. That was the first maybe faltering that maybe they'd sort of started to realise at this point, oh shit man, you know, we're not dominating the league, we're not doing brilliantly in Europe, we're now not winning the Copa del Rey. They must have been really worried going into the next season, and rightly so. They were absolutely spanked at home in the semi-finals the following season by Atletico Madrid by 4-1. The season after that, it was another semi-final. Again, Atletico Madrid beat them. This must have been where the realisation of, we ain't the big boys. We're a massive club still, but what has happened to us is really starting to affect us. We're not winning things. I mean, they picked up the Champions League that season, but as great as that is, it must have been kind of like a hollow victory, because they've won that, but it's really affected them league-wise. They must have put so much effort into that it's affected their league form. The season after, they sprung back to life and managed to win it against Sevilla. A 3-0 victory in the final there. So they really took the ball by the horn in that final. They actually knocked Real Madrid out and Atletico Madrid on the way to that final. So that must have felt fantastic for them. That must have been really good for them. The following season, semi-final exit to Villarreal. Despite again knocking out Real Madrid in the early stages. So whether Real Madrid were focusing more on the Champions League and the league, maybe, I don't know, but maybe a Club World Cup would have come in there and stuff like that, I don't know, I'm not too sure, but yeah, they've done well to get to where they did, beating Real Madrid, but Villarreal was just a step too far. In the 23-24 season, they were beaten in the quarterfinals by Atletico Madrid. Quite an easy little run up until that point. and maybe just stepped too far for the squad they had at the time. 24-25, they won it. They beat Real Madrid in the final, and I know that this season as well, the last season, they beat Real Madrid in the final again. So the last 2 seasons they managed to sort of regroup and pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and crack on into the Copa del Rey to pick up the victory, which is brilliant. That, I'm not going to go into the Super Cup and all that sort of stuff. We can have a look at that over time and have a little look through that in different videos. Those are the main competitions that I kind of just wanted to go through and have a little look at. So now in terms of the squad, obviously they've just finished the season. So what I want to do is we're going to have a little look now at the guys who are in the double figures for the goals, the assists and the best average rating players, and just have a look at those guys, just a few players, and then as we go along we'll start looking at players and looking at skills and stats and stuff that they've got, and looking to see who are the main boys and who aren't, if you know what I mean. So top of this list with goals is Jose Manuel, and this guy I like the look of. He's got 15 goals and 25 appearances for Spain. He's had a good run at the under-21s level. He's got 26 appearances and 18 goals there. He is classed, I don't know if he's going to be classed as a wonder kid, but he's 25, so he's not going to be a wonder kid now, is he? £37 million he is worth. He's really started to come into his own in the past few seasons by the looks of things. Started off obviously at Barcelona B, went out on loan to Cadiz where he played 24, got 7 goals in La Liga, and then Eibar, 36 games, 14 goals, and started to come into the Barca team in single figures for the first few seasons. Played 26, got 3 goals in 22-23 season, and after that it's double figures all the way, 13, 17, and last season he got 20, so he does look a very decent player. He's got some decent stats as well. I mean, he's finishing his 18, his penalty taking is 16, his composure 16, anticipation 17, determination is only 9, bit low for me, but it's not too much to worry about. He's off the ball, he's 18, which is fantastic. Good vision, good work rate. He's got strength and stamina. I mean, he's 5'9", 11 stone, but he's got 16 strength, which is pretty decent. 17 acceleration, 18 balance. I mean, he is a fantastic looking player. We'll give 34-year-old Neymar an honorary look at. You can perhaps pause it and just look at his skills there. He's a decent player, but he's going to be gone. He's going to be going soon. He's 34. He's had a good season. In total, 437 appearances for the club is an astonishing amount of appearances. He's had a good season this season, actually. The first time he's got double figures for a few. So he's had a really good year this year, but yeah, I think Neymar's time's probably up. Jordi Caricondo. Now, he is classed as a world-class winger, and he does look world-class, to be fair. He's actually played for Crystal Palace. Interesting. That's not being disrespectful to Crystal Palace, but when you see somebody like super world-class player, clearly got a fantastic record at Barcelona, one of the best players in the world. See, it says over there, potential to be a world-class left midfielder in the future. According to that there, he is a world-class winger already, so, whatevs. He's very determined. 18 determination, 17 decisions, crossing 17, first touch 15. Oh, baby, this boy looks good. Flair of 14. He's got pace and acceleration, good stamina. His strength is decent at 15. He's 6 foot, 12 stone as well, so that kind of match. He's not the biggest guy, but he's got a bit of strength about him, which I like. But he does look an absolute beast of a player. I'm really looking forward to managing him. Again, another... well, of course, they're all going to be academy products. They're not going to be signed from anywhere. But he's had loan spells at Cadiz, Las Palmas, Real Sociedad, and played in the Premier League with Crystal Palace. When he was in the second division, he got 10 goals in 36 games. Look at that, he went from having 10 goals that season to 1 that season to 12 this season. So when he plays, he freaking plays by the looks of things. I like the look of him, he looks a very good player. Gerard Casas. He is our number 8, and he is a cultured attacking midfielder. Another one who looks fantastic. Had a loan spell at Celta Vigo earlier on in his career. 17 games, 4 goals for them. He's valued at £33 million. He's 21 years of age, so he's got a lot of years left in him. He is quick to trot, my friends. He is 6 foot, 12 stone. Composure is fantastic. Decisions 19, flair 17, determination 15, vision 19, work rate 18, technique 17, passing 16, first touch 17, free kicks, oh my god, long range 80. This guy could be an absolute beast, and with the tactic that I play, you know, he could really rack up some goals. He's never got double figures, not the most prolific, but I think with the tactic we play, he may get a lot more involved going forwards. Like I say, he had his loan spell in the Segunda division with Celta Vigo, got 17 appearances and 4 goals under his belt, so he is a little bugger. And lastly, but by no means least, is Sergei Sampa. He is now 31 years of age, so that's crazy, but like I say, we are 10 years into the future. Still a decent looking player. The other lads look fantastic. I mean, he looks good, but the other players look fantastic. First touch of 19, passing 17, technique 18, composure 17, decisions 18, determination 14. My life, he's just an absolute beautifully wonderful player. He's had one solitary loan spell away from the club at Granada back in 16-17 season, where he got 38 games, 1 goal. He's only ever scored 1 goal in a season, which is crazy. So maybe that could be our goal this season. One of our goals this season: get Sergei Sampa to 2 goals in a season. That's a little side goal for us this season. Get him to 2. Get him to 2. Hashtag get him to 2. So that is the squad as it is, guys. I'm very excited by the looks of it. Very, very excited. This video, we're not going to have a live comment in it. The next episode will, of course, have a live comment, but this was just a quick video. It's probably going to be about 20 minutes long just to meet the squad and stuff. Going forwards, though, it's going to be an amazing, amazing journey. Like I say, their money is back. There's no worries about that. The money is there. It is right up in their face. So there's plenty of dollar around, but it's just a case of there's nothing we can do with it apart from fixing up any facilities that may need fixing up, maybe build a new stadium going forwards. That'd be crazy. And getting the best staff. We're going to bring in the best staff that we can possibly bring in to make sure that we have the best scouting range worldwide, and we bring in the absolute top range youngsters from anywhere, from Argentina to Vietnam. We're going to be bringing in the boys, the legends from every area we possibly can, and I think it's going to be really cool. So guys, I know this has not been a game or anything, but hopefully you've kind of found it interesting just looking at the new players and stuff like that, and seeing how they've done briefly over the past few years. Hopefully now, you know, you kind of get where we're at. We haven't won the league for 10 years. You know, we haven't won the we've won the Champions League once in 10 years, the Europa League none in 10 years, and the Copa del Rey, we've kind of, that's been our little, it's kind of been like our little flag to wave, say, yeah, we're still here, we can still do something, you know, that kind of thing. And now we want to change that. We want to win the Copa del Rey, we want to win the Champions League, we want to win the league, we want to do it all with our own players. You got to remember, nobody's coming in from outside. It is Barcelona tunnel vision from here on in, and it should be awesome. So please remember to hit the like button down below, because that means a lot. And then, of course, in the next episode, we've got the first live coming in. We're going to have the first league fixture or cup, whatever comes first, we're going to have it. And it's going to be an occasion for the ages, because I've got to learn. We've all got to grow used to players that have been in this world for, say, 5-6 years in terms of FM, but we've never seen, never heard of, haven't got a clue who they are. It's going to be really crazy. It's going to be a learning curve, trying to get to know them, trying to understand how they are, trying to get to understand if they're going to be worth keeping, or if it's time maybe to cash in on this amazing production line of youth that we've got. And it should really it should be interesting. So remember to come back in the next episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you know, and I will catch you all for the opener of the season in the next episode. Bye bye.